is our very, very first podcast.
Yeah.
I'm here with Endigo.
Hi, Donna. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good. You look gorgeous.
Thank you. So do you.
Thank you. I'm actually also wearing a lot of makeup, Endigo.
All right. Well, I gotta say, you're looking great.
I brushed my teeth today. I've made a huge effort.
I legit forgot to brush my teeth before the show. I was gonna do it for the camera, to hopefully not have any lunch left in my teeth.
I think you look great.
Okay.
Fine.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. This, of course, is the debut kind of episode of this show we're apparently doing now as of today.
Yeah, as of yesterday we decided this.
Yeah. It was like 2 days ago. We were even tossing around the idea of doing it.
It was 2 days ago. Yeah, we believe in a really long planning. We've market researched everything. We've written a business plan. We've got a loan.
Yes.
And we're sponsored by an international company. We actually are sponsored by Hotties Heat Pads.
Hotties Heat Pads. Thanks so much, Hotties.
Hotties Heat Pads. Yay!
Thank you, Hotties. So what is this? I think a lot of people are tuning in.
Is a hot, sexy, gorgeous, young, talented Swede.
I was going to say, and then there's me.
Sexy, youngish, talented Aussie.
Yes.
And we met on my last jazz gig, and I'm just a huge fan of yours, Endigo.
Thank you.
I love your work ethic. I love how talented you're. A self-made person. You haven't, been handed. You've created everything. You're really inspiring, and I know that I'm incredibly inspiring. My cat lady chops. I know that you admire that I've got 4 cats.
Yeah.
I do like a nice cup of tea. I can make a nice cup of tea. Just before pandemic shut down, you and Maya were my last guests in my house.
Yeah,
when
probably.
We had the cheese night.
Yeah,
and we all stayed away from each other.
That was a great night.
And then after that, we had the windows open, and then it was like, that's it.
And even then, I remember, and that was over a year ago. I remember even then, it was like a little bit like, should we be meeting really these days? And now, that was like a lifetime ago at this point.
Yeah. So I really loved talking to you. And we had a big old chat on Monday. And then you said, you know what? People would want to listen into this chat because we were talking about some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And you, with your finger on the pulse of young people.
That's me.
So for the 33 people who are watching this is for you.
Yeah. And if you're 34 and above, please close this window right now. You are not welcome anymore. So to just rewind a little bit, you say and I know that I'm incredibly inspiring. I know you said it somewhat as a joke, but it's also really true. I am super inspired ever since the first time we met at that live show in Roppongi with Mr. Patrick Bartley, February of 2020. I obviously already knew who you were through some of your work with the video games singing and the anime singing and different singing. Metal Gear Solid, obviously, stuff like that. And then just the chat we had on that day about everything in general, like business and dreams and ambition and everything. I was like,
yeah,
damn, she speaks to me, literally and figuratively.
I'm flaring my nostrils. For those who are not watching, I'm really flaring my nostrils.
So am I.
In agreement, yes.
Yeah. So that was great. And then we became friends, and then the world closed down, and then you couldn't make any more friends. So. And
then you've composed a few songs for me, which was really fun. And I really like your comic genius. You're very funny at editing and stuff. So anyway, we want to inspire people. We don't want to just inspire ourselves. No. We want to talk about pretty deep stuff, and we want to talk about is it worth making it in Japan, even though you're not here yet?
Indeed.
Or what's it like?
Exactly.
But also, not just Japan, but just artistic stuff in general.
Indeed, because we're both situated in Tokyo, Japan. We live here, we work here, we have our lives here. But we're clearly not Japanese people. We're just foreigners who somehow ended up here, whether through chance of fate or not. And I feel like there's a lot of things to talk about when it comes to getting here in general, even just physically getting here in the first place. It's pretty difficult for most people, me included, back in the day. But then just, why do you want to get here and where do you want to go from here? And in general, there's so many interesting stories about there, coming here and being here. And I feel like every every Westerner who makes it here in any capacity, they're like, no two stories are the same. No two origin stories are the same. And even for the two of us, like the origin stories of how we got to where we are today, it's so completely different, especially given that there were so many years in between us coming here. And I feel like it's worth talking about, you know. And that's kind of what this is, I guess. Just a chat and chill.
Yeah. Now, when I first met you, do you remember for people who don't know, I've had a booking agency for foreign talent since 2004.
Yeah.
And so I meet a lot of people who want to make it in Japan. And I don't meet that many people who I can see will make it. And when I described that to you, you found that really shocking. Because you're like, what?
Right.
Do you remember what I said?
Vaguely, but please fill me in.
We can rewind that bit later.
Yeah.
I'll coach you. I need you to be more enthusiastic, Endigo, and like have your eyes light up as if that was a significant moment.
That was a significant moment that I do not remember, but I'm sure it was.
It was like some people just don't turn up for jobs on time.
Yes.
They whinge and complain. They're rude to Japanese people in the studio, and then it gets to the stage where I would sometimes book B-class talent, people who are, can read, but they're not like world class.
Sure.
And because I know that they'll be polite and they will get the job done.
Yeah.
And it's for an educational textbook, so it's not really that big of a deal. And you're like, wow. But yeah, not everyone has a good work ethic.
Sure.
So it's not just talent, it's having a good work ethic. It's being cheerful, it's lighting up the room when you come in, it's making everyone feel, I'm so glad I met that Endigo guy.
Yeah. I wish I heard that more than I do. But no, all jokes aside, I mean, for sure, because to me, I mean, we're gonna get into like why we got to Japan in the first place. I feel like there's probably a lot of people coming from both of our ends to this show, not knowing the other one really. But for me, like getting to Japan,
everyone who doesn't know about me, just Google me, just Wikipedia me.
It's like anybody who doesn't know you, they just don't know that they actually do know you from something.
No, I'm a
little old me.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
But I mean, to me personally, like Japan was always the dream. I was fascinated with Japan ever since I was a little kid, and I always wanted to come here and work and do music here, especially because Japanese music that was really the gateway to everything that is me today. So to me, when I'm given any sort of opportunity, business opportunity, not the least in Japan, like I really want to do the best I can, because that is like that's what I'm here to do, and that's what I always wanted to do. So when I hear these stories of people who are like about it, or like do a half-ass job, it's just on such
shocking.
another planet to how I feel. And I get like Japan isn't everybody's dream. Some people are here because of work or family, like involuntarily, and but that's not me, and it's hard to relate to it.
Not the people in the narration and singing world. I'm sorry.
No.
No.
Probably. I mean, I'm still so new to that world,
Yeah.
but I'm definitely going to take your word for it.
Oh, I just did a burp. Sorry.
Oh, Donna burp. Here we go.
Donna burp.
Yep.
Let's just count that one. That's the first one for the podcast.
Yeah.
And there'll be many more.
Don't you worry. So let's get into who we are for those not in the know. Let's do this as kind of episode 1, kind of introductory.
All right, I'm going to start first. Endigo, if I met you and I was like, oh, hello.
Hello.
Can you just describe to someone who doesn't know anything about you who you are and what you do?
Sure. Hi. There's probably a lot of viewers here tuning in from the Donna Burke channel who's like, what is this pink hot mess next to Donna Burke, and why is it talking? No, my name is Endigo. I'm a 29 currently years old Swedish dude. Sorry, was that secret?
Not as young as I thought.
Oh,
29.
Should we end the show?
Oh, we just keep going.
All right, I'm sorry. I'll try.
What a disappointment.
Sorry, I'll get older eventually. Don't you worry. Working hard on it. No, my name is Endigo. I'm Swedish originally. I live in Tokyo since October 2019. I came here. I'm a musician since childhood. I picked up the guitar and joined a choir and a music school at the age of 10. Started my first band at the age of 10. And I'm a full-time YouTuber since 2017. Do like music and weird shit posting and remixing and covers stuff.
What? To explain what is a shit post?
Oh Lord. A shit post is is when you, dear Lord, how do you put words? I mean, it's like in terms of YouTube, it's usually a video or a thing that's meant to be a joke. Like usually a short thing.
You take the piss out of other YouTubers.
Yeah, well, yeah, kinda, but it could also just be a kind of meta joke, a video that is supposed to be a parody of another video, and it can be like subverting expectations of something. I do like, for example, there was a game last year, totally tangent here, but there was a game last year that was called Among Us, that was the biggest game in the world. It was super popular, and all these other music YouTubers were making Among Us songs on YouTube, like singing original Among Us inspired music. And I never did that because I was still in school. I was so busy. But everybody kept telling me like, Endigo, make an Among Us song, like do a song singing about Among Us. So what I eventually did, I have a song that is really popular that you know called Big Chungus.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, you want an Among Us song? I'll give you an Among Us song. So I just re-recorded. I made like a remake of Big Chungus. It starts off as similar to the Among Us theme.
Big Chungus, Big Chungus.
That's the one. My biggest fan, Donna and Burke. So what I did was I made an original song. It starts off really ambient, like the actual Among Us intro from the game, but then it slowly like builds up. And it's just the Big Chungus chorus again, but I sing Among Us, and then it ends, and that is a shitpost, pretty much.
But it brings joy and gives people a giggle.
Yeah, but it's very serious and often like taking the piss out of something, you know.
Yeah, and that's how you make your living.
Yeah, that is how I get food on the table for the last 4 years.
That's amazing.
Pretty much. I discovered J-rock, Japanese rock music, by accident when I was like 14 years old. And I found all these Japanese bands that started playing in Sweden, doing shows in Sweden. I went to one of these shows with my friend, with the band Muck, who I had no idea who they were.
Muck?
Yeah, M-U-C-C. And it was the best show I'd ever seen.
I actually think we should call this podcast Never Heard of It. Because I reckon that's going to be, you're going to be saying all
recurring
this stuff and
themes.
I'll be like, never heard of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the other way around too when you start dropping.
Burping and never heard of it. Okay.
Welcome to the Never Heard of It cast with Donna Burp. God. Yeah, but I discovered J-rock and this whole subsection of J-rock called Visual K, which is...
Is that what you're inspired by now?
Yeah, so that's how I ended up looking like this. And full disclaimer, I probably won't do this whole getup every episode because I just can't be arsed to. But sometimes for fun, inauguratory episode. And the whole Visual K style, it's just, it's like Japan's take on glam rock, but like turned up to the
11.
11, thank you. So it's more akin to what you would call drag in the West these days, but there's still rock musicians playing often like death metal. So I came from that background, and I thought that was really cool. And then these days, of course, drag is such a worldwide art phenomenon in a way that it wasn't 10 years ago when I got into it. True. So, I mean, these days, I just try to refer to it as more like drag to make people get what it is. But I didn't come from the drag end of things. I came from the J-rock end of things.
Right.
But it's close. So, yeah. But I've been in a lot of rock bands. I've especially like Visual K inspired bands in Sweden. Many of them released a lot of albums, toured all over the world with these bands, played with Japanese bands, and done a lot of like in the J-rock kind of scene of things. So
what's your dream of being here in Japan? I forget freaking COVID, but yeah, sure. What's your dream?
So here's the thing. My lifelong dream was to move to Japan and be a musician and live as a full-time musician and not have a job, just play music in Japan all day, play Japanese rock music. That's what I'm doing now. So I'm literally living my dream. I made it. Okay, this is like the post-credits now. So I mean, it sounds kind of sad, I guess, but I don't really have a dream anymore. Because this was the dream and I'm doing it and I'm happy doing it.
You mean doing the podcast with me?
Yes, specifically, having you burp in the mic. So I don't really know where I'm going now. Right now, I'm
There
just
you go.
enjoying the ride.
That was a good one.
There you go.
That was a good one too.
Checkmate.
I think we're equally matched.
Yeah, I think so. Right. So yeah, that's just what I'm doing now. I got my little home studio in Tokyo, and I record music, have my guitars and everything, big setup, and I produce music, put it on YouTube. Thinking about whether to start another band or not, but that's a whole other thing. Currently, I'm not in a band, but I produce band music on my own, like a full-time thing. I record the guitars, program the drums, record the vocals, mix it, master it, put it on Spotify. It's all under Endigo.
Why wouldn't you start a band? Why wouldn't you?
Right now, because of COVID. But now I'm definitely, once everything opens up, I have my little plans of like doing some member searches. There's a lot of Japanese people I've been talking to about potentially starting a band. But it's all very early, very work in progress. Nothing to announce yet, but yeah, things are happening.
You got to be careful who you pick.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
It's like you got to be, if you're really planning to be successful, you could be in a band with these people for the next 20 years.
Yeah, right. And at this point, I've been in, I think, I'd say I've probably had 3 serious band projects in my life that I've like spent years on, and like, this is it, we're gonna be big. And what I've learned is really the chemistry is so important, and like really, what do you call it? Like, vet your members, like do the background checks, figure out who they are.
You need to respect them.
Yeah,
you need to respect them.
100%. And in most of the cases, it's been like the chemistry just didn't work, even when everything else was like perfect.
Now, you told me that one of the problems though was that because it wasn't your band. So it wasn't like you put them together. It was like they discovered you, and then you didn't have full control.
Yeah.
And what? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're really making me sound like a control freak when you say it like that, Donna.
No, I'm
putting words in my mouth.
Nothing wrong with being a control freak.
Okay, sure.
She said rearranging everything.
Yeah.
Everything's perfectly.
Yeah.
No, it just means that you. Another way to put it is that you weren't in control of choosing people who had the same values as you, whether that's being respectful to women and others, just very basic things.
Sure.
So if I think, I want to be a control freak about that too.
Yeah.
I don't want to have people in my environment who are negative Nellies and.
Yeah, 100%. Because the last time I started my own band was in 2009. I started a band called Still Echo, and that was like my vision-ish. Like me and my friends started together. We did that for a couple of years, and it was really fun. But then I've been in other bands since, but those bands were all pre-established by other people. So it was just me jumping onto their vision to the extent I could still express myself creatively. But at the end of the day, like, it was somebody else's vision, somebody else's band. And I was just there to, like, I added my own songs. I wrote my own music too, but like it had to fit a certain pre-established mold in a way. Whereas with this new potential project, it's gonna be ground up. I want the image first, the music done.
You're going to be A, B, and A.
Yeah.
Agnetha and you're going to be doing the whole thing.
Indeed, I'm gonna be all of ABBA at the same time. So I just need to find people who are on board with and get what I want to do. But before that, I need to figure out what I want to do myself, kind of. So.
I know you've written 7 songs. Stop being such a. You just need to find the right people on the spaceship Endigo.
Sorry, there's a cat entering your room. Don't be scared.
Hello, Nelly. I used to have a bank manager who used to come to the studio, and you would have to lock the cats away because he was terrified of them.
Oh, really?
And he would scream like that if he saw a cat.
Okay.
And one day, one of the cats would just looked at him with such disgust. It was like, oh, and then just turned around, like, I wouldn't even bother biting you.
Oh my God, Jesus! No, I really enjoy your cats. I met most of them. I think all of them, maybe.
I think if someone had a magnifying glass, I could count a few cat hairs on me. Which is
I could see them last time we were talking. I was like,
I know, that was pretty shocking.
Yeah, but things though, I have a minor cat allergy. So
everyone does.
Yeah.
God, you're nothing special. So do I.
Don't try to be a snowflake.
The cat flake.
Yeah, the snow cat. Yeah. So I guess that's
that's
little.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right, Nelly. Lily. Sorry.
That's okay.
So that's your elevator story.
Yeah, kinda. I'm a Swedish dude. I like music. I came to Japan and I still like music. Yay.
What are you looking forward to doing in Japan? What's your number one bucket list?
So, I mean, the one thing that I'm really not doing anymore that I really miss, it's doing live shows.
Getting shit-faced at an...
Getting shit-faced. No, I'm fine with that. Like, I have a drink at home alone. Like, but no, I mean, I really miss doing live shows. I really, really do. Last show I did was with my old band in 2019. We played Sweden Rock Festival in like June. It's gonna have been 2 years, like next week, since I did a show at all. And that was like, it was fun. And then I came to Japan and I was like, I'm gonna start doing concerts, and then the world closed down, so I haven't been able to do that. So that's really something I miss doing. And like in general, being part of a larger thing, doing YouTube on my own as just Endigo, it's fun. But I feel like I want to do something grander again, kinda. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Something larger than myself.
Yeah, we're all like I was telling you about the comedy show that I perform in, and you've never seen it.
Yeah, no, right. I did watch some clips on YouTube, and it looked really fun.
Yeah, but the clips are nothing like being
I know.
There's nothing like it.
I know, but like, because like I haven't even been able to go there since, because like you're not even doing it anymore because of the virus. I have been to the venue before though. Maya has played there with her band. Yeah, Crocodile a couple times. And it's a great venue. It's a really neat little kind of big jazz club downtown Harajuku.
Yeah, it's great. Crocodile, mate.
Yeah. Let's go there soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, what about you then, Donna? Who are you?
Finally, we get to me.
Yeah.
It's been minutes and minutes.
I'm sorry. I haven't mentioned you.
I didn't know how I could feign interest for longer.
So, I mean, there might be a person or two here from my end of the show, even though we're on your channel, who are like, who's this person? So, who are you? Why are you here? Hi, Donna. Why am I talking to you? Even
why are you talking to me is, sorry, just getting away from Lily.
That's right.
She's headbutting things, and she's 16. She should be, Yep. I love living in Japan. I've been here since 1996.
Cool.
I used to be a high school teacher in Australia who sang at weddings and funerals.
All right.
And when I got here in 1996, I immediately started singing at weddings near Tokyo Disneyland.
All right.
And made so much money. And then I was 30 years old and I knew how lucky I was. I was like, wow, this is great. I started getting TV commercial jobs, recording jobs, and they would just pay me cash, like $800. Boom!
Wow!
God, $800.
I've never seen so much money.
Yeah, and
wow!
I because I was 30, I was like, this is such a sweet, fun gig, and I was not young enough. I was not too young to think, oh, this is normal. I knew it was really awesome. And from that, I started getting more recording work and I was able to ditch my teaching job, which is how I got into Japan.
Right.
And do singing full time. I was pretty poor for about 6 months. I remember eating at that tempura place for 500 yen.
There's a couple. Yeah.
The tempura.
Yeah, soba.
No.
Think I could afford soba?
Not for the 500 yen. Some pickles. And when I went to the What the Dickens pub, I would just drink water. I was really broke. But then I started making lots of money from recordings.
Mm-hmm. So you could upgrade that water to like sparkling water eventually?
Yeah, Tanaka Nata lemonade. So that's, I started off... and I just, wow, this is my dream come true. And then my best friend Kim got me into doing voiceovers.
Oh, okay.
And voice acting. So I started singing, then I was doing the voice acting. And then I did the speech. It's always my dream to be an actress. But
sure.
Coming from the suburbs of beachside Western Australia, there's not much call for anything, really.
So did you do any type of voice work or any singing like job in any professional capacity before coming to Japan?
Only live, like
right.
I would be paid to sing at someone's wedding.
Sure.
So that was it. Weddings, and I think I'd sang, New Year's Eve once, but it was all, it was I didn't record until I was about 28 because someone wanted me to record their wedding songs in Perth. But so that's the other thing. I'm a bit of a late bloomer.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, nothing wrong with that. You know, Alan Rickman got his first movie role when he was like 45 or something like that. So
I love that.
Yeah. And then he became Snape. So yeah. So you know, it's never too late. And
yeah. So I'm a good never too late sort of person. So I came to Japan when I was 31.
Sure.
31. So yeah.
I mean, that's still not that late, I feel. Later
if
than
you're
some.
a 15-year-old kid who wants to be a famous YouTuber, that's like 30. I have to wait till 30.
I was 27 when I came here. Okay, so it's not too different, you know. Still, so no.
But you were working as a full-time YouTuber and musician before you came. I was like a high school teacher.
That's
so
pretty
I think
cool.
you came here way cooler.
I mean, I guess I did, but I came here as a student. So I was a language student for a year, just studying Japanese at a language school in Tokyo. And I mean, it's 100% thanks to the YouTube job of mine that I was able to now, like, I live as an artist now. And like, did I not have the YouTube thing going, I would probably have had to just go home after I finished language school, because I don't have a university degree or something, which is usually needed for most type of visas here.
That's right.
But no, I'm 100% thankful for the YouTube thing going so well.
Yeah, and
I was able to impress
for people who don't know, I'm just going to talk about your private visa business because I know about it.
Okay, sure.
Endigo, to get if you don't have a 4-year degree, Endigo went for the most difficult visa, which is one that the Beatles would have got to enter Japan, which is an artist visa, and he got it because you know they look. Oh my God, it's 500,000 followers on YouTube, and you're a self-supported artist, so they're just like, yay, we can get some of that tax.
Yeah.
But so good for you.
Totally.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It was such a long shot. I mean, fortunately, I have an artist friend here who's a painter, and he's a really successful guy from Spain, and he just got his artist visa. And I just talked to him like, dude, how are you able to do it? And he's like, well, you know, I'm just selling a lot of paintings. You could probably do it too as a YouTuber. So he really guided me through a lot of the process, and it just worked. They were like, well, as long as you can prove that YouTube is like, you know, viable for you. But then I release a lot of music on Spotify. Like I think I released like 15 songs on Spotify this year alone.
Wow.
So a lot of that, and they just thought I was good enough. So here I am.
Yeah.
So, hoping to be able to renew it for indefinitely. Maybe we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's incredible.
We're going to have some guests on. We haven't asked them yet, so we don't want to mention anyone's names, but other composers who've made it in Japan, singers, voice artists.
Yeah.
So everyone will watch out for that. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I am so stoked. There are so many cool people. Given the chance, I would like to like pick their brain on everything.
Are you the only muso or performer in your family?
No, I am not. My father... my father has...
How do you say that in Swedish?
Pappa.
Oh.
So it's like Papa, but like with a double P. Pappa.
Papa. Oh, it's cute.
Oh, that was a very natural pronunciation. Papa.
Well, a lot of stuff here is from IKEA.
That is true. Yeah, you can just feel it like seeping into your...
I've read so many Swedish words doing, unpacking my IKEA that, that's why I'm a natural.
Oh, that makes sense. I was expecting nothing less. No, my dad is a musician and a general creative dude. So he started he was much like me when he was in his 20s, also recording a lot of music at home, doing the equivalent of shit post parody songs, except there was no YouTube, let alone any internet back in the day. So I've heard all these tapes of him singing stupid things that sound really professionally recorded, but it's just him singing parody spoofs or whatever. But then he started a band, and he was in bands for all the 80s and 90s as long as I've known him all my life. He's been in bands. And he's also big into photography and web design. He's run a lot of websites, comedy websites. I mean, somewhat big in Sweden, stuff like that. So he's always been kind of a creative entrepreneur of sorts.
Right.
So I guess I have it from him pretty much all of it kind of influence. He always took me to like live shows with stuff and like showed me music and introduced me to metal and everything. So yeah, I'm like a little sequel to him, kind of.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you do now. I actually saw some pictures of him like performing live, I think in Finland with his band in like the 80s, and he actually like spray painted his hair like pinkish. So I was like, oh, there we go.
Oh, so it's in your genes.
Yeah, I think so, pretty much. I'm pretty confident if he was born today, he would probably be a YouTuber. So yeah. So it's pretty much all from him. My mom, I mean, music fan, not a musician. But yeah. Aside from him, though, I don't think there's really any other musicians in my family. So my cousin is a bit of a rapper, I guess, but.
So no one's like, oh, you need to get a good job and you need to, get your nursing qualifications in case you know.
Yeah, no, I've had that growing up.
Who from? Your dad?
From like, I mean, obviously my parents.
Get a job, son.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously wanted me to like not become, homeless by the age of, 16. Not that they would throw me out, I hope, but well, they didn't. But of course, there was always like some pressure. But like from a very early age, like probably pretty much from around age 10 when I started my first band, I was like, I want to be a rock star.
Have you ever had a normal job, like a 9 to 5? Look, like what I used to work in a bank. I was a school teacher, and I did not follow my dreams. So this is why I find you really inspiring. Like I didn't let myself follow my dreams, and I didn't even want to admit it to myself.
Sure.
Until I was well on the way to 1 foot in the grave at 30.
Oh, wow. Thanks. I'm turning 30 next year. It's good to know. So basically, I mean, long story. Okay, short answer. Yes, I have. But I graduated high school in 2012, and at that point I had worked as like a telemarketing phone salesman dude for like a month at a place, and then I left because I was like, nope. I got so many angry dads who I called in the evenings like, hi, do you want to get this magazine? And they were like, you're ruining family night. Good day. Think about what job you choose. Click.
Wow.
So I was like, can't all just be about money, So I was like, yikes. So I left. And then I quit high school in 2012 at the age of 19 or something. And I did not have a job for 3 years. That's when I joined my first somewhat successful band, a band called Overworld, 2012, and we played for like 3 years. And during those years, I did not have a job.
But that was a job. Did you earn money?
No. No. I had zero income. I mean, I treated it as a job.
Yeah.
In the fact that was all I did. I lived and breathed that band, and that was how we were able to do any kind of success at all.
I don't think I like the idea of that, not getting paid bucket loads of money to perform.
Woo! No, I mean, so didn't I. We got paid like the odd, like a couple $100 for a gig every now and then.
Man.
We did a lot of live shows. We played, like, we toured Sweden once, and we did a lot of shows around, like, Scandinavia, like festivals, Norway, Finland, stuff like that. And I love that life. But I also realized that I don't love not having any money, as I didn't for 3 years. So me and my drummer Andy, we would like, because him and I was like, we were the 24/7 hard workers on the band, and neither of us had a job for a long period of time. Wow. So we would like make a plan on Sunday how to eat until next Sunday. So like, okay, if we go buy like this 3 kilos of meatballs on Sunday, and we can eat 5 meatballs a day. Like,
oh my god!
But it worked, and that way we could like circumvent having a job, not having a job, and still focus all the time on the band. And it was, sustainable for a little while, but then eventually reality kicked in. So, but then once I left that band, I actually did get a job, my only real job. Mm-hmm. I worked as a clerk at GameStop for 1 year.
Right? That's pretty good.
It was pretty cool. It was like one of those, if I need to have a real job, that's my dream job.
And kinda. Was it your dream job?
In theory, yeah. In practice, I mean, not really. Did
you get to nerd out with other nerds?
Yeah, I did. Because they were hiring staff. They needed more staff before the launch of the PS4. So they were like having this whole recruitment process with like a group interview where they would like ask us like, what's the difference between an RPG and an RTS? And like the other people would be like, I don't know. And I was like, well, one is a role-playing game and one is, and they were like, hold up a controller, like, what is this? And they were like, it's a gaming thing. I was like, that's the DualShock 4 for the PlayStation 4. And the other people were like, wow, you're really smart. And then I was the only one who got the job.
Leave the room.
Yeah, I was the only one who got the job. So, and that was like, it was fun. It was fun to like work with games and talk about games for like a year every day. But at the same time, a retail job is, it's a retail job. It is what it is, It got me some money.
You make the best of it. Yep.
Yeah. The only bad part was like, my store was like 2 hours commute from my home. So like those days where there was traffic jams and I was opening the store, it was troublesome. I had to like take the taxi for like an hour, like expended myself, never got a reimbursement. So it was pretty bad. And then I left that job after a year, or like my contract didn't get renewed, and then the store shut down. So whatever. And I just spent another year in another band, and then suddenly I just had a random ass video go super viral on YouTube, and I tried to capitalize on it, and I successfully did, and I turned it into my job, and it still is. Yay!
Yay!
So yeah,
like you were like an overnight success.
Quite literally, yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was really weird. One day I was like, how do I do anything? And the thing is, I started going to university in 2017, in January, to study Japanese. And I was going to take a bachelor in Japanese. So I did the first 6 months, and it was fine. And then I was going to do the second 6 months, the second half year of 2017. And during the summer break is when I had YouTube blow up. So I did the first 3 months.
For those who are not familiar with YouTube, it's a platform where people watch videos. Yeah, back to you.
It's like one of those VHS rental stores, except not as good. So yeah, so I actually had to quit university mid-term in the autumn because I was like,
was that a hard decision?
Yeah, it was, because it was I could either try and complete this course, but maybe lose this YouTube chance I have, or I could like try and seize the day, and I seized it, and I'm glad I did. Though my Japanese level kind of halted for a while. But no, I'm glad I did. And the route I then chose with the language school in Tokyo instead, like, was such a better choice of like how to learn it, the language. Oh. So, same question back to you then. Are you the only musical wonder child in your family?
Yes. Yes. When I started having singing lessons, when I was 18, and I started winning Estedfits, which are singing competitions, a few of my family members decided to do singing lessons because I thought, that must be why Donna's good.
Oh, of course.
It's not. You need talent.
Yeah. Singing lessons can get you a bit, but like...
Yeah. It's just... It's...
Can polish a turd.
Yeah. No, they weren't that bad, but they just were...
Sorry, I've never heard them, but...
Nice. They were just nice voice, but it wasn't like, please... Yeah, it wasn't...
All right. So, yeah. Fair enough.
So apparently my mother's mother, who was an alcoholic and a terrible mother and put my mum into orphanages, so not a nice person when she was drunk, which was most of the time, she apparently had a nice voice.
Oh, okay. Huh. But you never heard her sing yourself?
No, because she died. I never met her. She died before I never met her.
Okay. All right.
Yes. So there you go.
Damn.
So yeah,
all right.
That means that and I used to always, my dream when I was a kid was to be a famous singer and actor. I used to watch the movies on TV and just wish that I could be that. And I used to sing really loudly on the swing and hope. I was desperate for compliments because I'm one of 7 and my parents were just too busy to even notice that I existed.
Oh no!
Yes.
Which of the 7 are you? Where in the bunch
3.
in the line?
I have a twin brother. I have a twin brother who but I'm older than him by 30 minutes or something. But yeah, just so it was so being on stage now and actually having people make eye contact and listen to me is a balm to my soul, because when I was growing up, no one listened to me. No one, I wasn't special.
Sure.
I had to talk really fast because, I had to constantly compete I was jealous of my older sister because she had asthma. And she used to get to go to the hospital. I'm like,
oh, so she would get extra attention for free?
Totally. Like, she would practically die. She'd practically die, but still, I was like, wow, that's better than what I've got, which is perfect health and no one's looking at me. So I feel like I'm first of all, being a school teacher is also a great job because you get to stand in front and everyone looks at you. And so that was good.
Yeah, I mean, great that's kind of a stage, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
In a weird way, I kind of relate to that whole, my health is too, like, I was so normal in a way growing up in the way that, like, I never broke my foot. I never, weird accidents, none of that.
Nothing.
And that also made me, like, exceptionally unexceptional in a way, more than just being a normal person. And I kind of didn't like it. I was like, no, I want to be cool too. So I used to, like, pretend that I was, like from the Harry Potter world or something, just not try to convince people that I actually was, but I was like, man, I'm so unremarkable. I just want to be remarkable, which is kind of probably why I'm dressing like I do today. A weird cry for help.
Well, it's bringing you joy, so
yeah, sure.
And it's bringing others. If I didn't know
you,
and I saw
you, that's the most important part.
If I saw you just walk down the street, I would just be like, oh my God, and you would lift my spirits. So I love it. I love cosplaying, drag. I just think it's so awesome.
Would you do a drag queen look one time for the podcast for fun?
I need you to coach me.
I'll try. I am so bad at doing stuff on others. But I did see your cosplay video.
I've got heaps of makeup on right now.
I mean, this looks great, but like, would you do this for a video?
Yeah.
All right.
I cosplayed as Quiet last year.
You did. That was really fun. That was a great video.
And when I perform Metal Gear in concert, I feel like a bit of a drag version of myself because I'm sort of got this massive dress and got this amazing hair, and I'm like, ah! So I feel I could just, hello, my name's Donna Burke. Type of drag queen.
Yeah, that was like, I went to that Metal Gear in concert show. And it was such a good show. But like, yeah, seeing you just come out wearing that big gown and everything, like it was a really, man, I was crying in the audience. I'm not gonna lie, I was crying in the audience because like, it was like, it all just hit me like, man, I'm here, you're there, this is happening, there's a pandemic, but I'm here and I made it to Japan and I was hearing the music and everything just hit me like, man, this is my life. And I just got really emotional. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I've what a privilege that concert was, eh?
Yeah.
Everyone in their masks. No one's allowed. We were allowed to clap, but you weren't allowed to cheer.
Yeah.
But Japanese don't cheer anyway.
No, I usually try to cheer at like concerts in Japan.
Me too. I'm a bit of a woo.
Yeah, same. And like, if I'm lucky, like another single person will like, yay! But like, usually it's just me, and I feel so stupid.
Well, I still do it.
I went to this concert a couple of years ago in Japan. There's a rock band called Sukekio, and if I'm not mistaken, I think they have a rule that the audience is not allowed to cheer or even clap between songs or something like that. And like,
what is this? The opera?
Yeah, kind of. Like they all have to dress in black, like at certain shows. I went to this show and like they clapped when the band came on, and then silence for like an hour, and then the band left and like. And it was so weird.
Are they emo goths or something?
Yeah, kind of like something like that. Okay. Very artistic, very bit pretentious, but like they have a vision, so
they're making money from it, so good on them.
And the music is good, so Real quick, I just figured like if there are people watching this who coming from my end of the thing, and they were like, wait, Metal Gear in concert? Are you affiliated with Metal Gear? What's going on? Sorry, do you do anything like that? We haven't actually mentioned that in the show so far. Somebody's entirely out of the loop somehow.
Yes. So, yes, I voiced the iDroid in Ground Zeroes and also in Phantom Pain. I sing a couple of theme songs from Peace Walker, When Heavens Divide. Mm-hmm. I'm actually talking in quite a suburban Australian accent at the moment, which is to hide my pride in my accomplishments.
All right.
So yes, because if I actually talked normally, I'd feel like I was being boastful. So when I do this,
no, it's cool. That's what we're here to do. Do the flexing. Yeah, and
so I've been privileged to be in some really cool games: Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3, and also sing for
Sorry, wait. I'm about to start playing Silent Hill 2 for the first time in like 10 years. Who are you in the game? So I can look out for you.
Angela with a fake American accent. I'm sorry. I talk like this, and my brother and my father abused me.
Oh my god. Okay, good to know. If I recall correctly, they did an HD remake, kinda. Are you in the remake too?
You can choose.
A couple of years ago.
You can choose to listen to the old voices or the new voices. So they did re-record the voices. So it's up to fans to choose. Do you want the Americans or do you want the Japanese voice cast, which would be me?
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know. Any other notable
and I do
things?
zombie voices in there.
Oh,
too.
Nice.
And I tell you what, nothing makes you laugh more than recording zombie noise.
Yeah.
And I went through so much water. It was just like, because I was all this phlegm coming up and but it just cracked up laughing.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop. I remember just I've got more in me. And then off I went.
Because I can imagine you feel so silly in front of the probably somewhat serious producer over there with his paper like, that's great. Give me some more.
Yeah, but the funny thing is that all the J's, and that's what we call respectfully Japanese people who are in the the directors and stuff, they were pissing themselves as well. But then apparently the game is really scary, so I would never play it.
Right.
I hate scary things.
Yeah. So do Maya, who I live with. I was going to say, unfortunately, I'm very fortunate to live with her, but unfortunately, she really can't do scary stuff at all. So I'm trying to like play scary games at home on the TV, like when she's either gone to bed early and I have to like mess up my sleeping rhythm just to be able to play it, or whenever she's out. So I don't get too much horror time. My husband and I do that
with like he likes watching Swedish bloody detective shows where the body disappears.
Like Beck or Wallander.
He's watched all of those Scandinavian stuff. So I'm
really?
like, okay, I'm going to bed, bye, and I'll just go to bed and read a nice historical romance.
I think we have a similar dynamic at home here. So
I think I would justify it. Well, I wouldn't be able to go. I never used to be able to go on a roller coaster. I think my imagination is so like over the top that. Just the suggestion of it's just enough to like,
Yeah, no, I get it. It's just for me, I really like when art makes me feel like physically feel, and nothing makes me feel more physically than horror, because like you can like you feel your body tense up, and like it's real, like it's raw in a way that a lot of other like comedies can make you laugh, and like you can be sad at a movie, but like there's something so raw, so primal about horror, and especially when the movie or game is actually good too, good music and good story. It's so much more. It cuts deeper.
Isn't that a mean thing to do to your psychosomatic system?
You know what? If I start thinking about it, I'm probably never gonna.
Because your brain can't tell that it's part of your limbic, your reptilian brain thinks it's real.
Yeah, I mean that's probably true. That's why when you're having a nightmare, you wake up scared because like, it wasn't real, but it was real to you in the dream. So I mean, you're probably onto something there. But like, if I think too hard about it, I'll probably never want to watch a horror movie again. So I'd rather just leave it be, enjoy it, and hope not to die.
Yeah.
So okay, but like okay. So what else have we done? You're also the voice of a train, right?
That's right. That's my most famous thing in Japan. Is I am the English voice on the Shinkansen that takes you from Tokyo right down to Osaka, Kyoto, and Kumamoto, Hiroshima. I never shut up. I just talk the whole way.
You do. My first time on the Shinkansen to Osaka, hearing your voice, first it was like so cool. I was like, oh my, it's Donna.
That's nice.
Then after like an hour, I was like, Donna, shut up. I'm trying to watch a movie.
And when I started it in 2003, there were no tourists. There was no such thing as Wi-Fi. There was no such thing as terrorism. So the messages have just got longer and longer. And please put your luggage in designated zones. And when I went on the Eurostar in 2018, I think, for Metal Gear in concert in Paris, yay,
right.
There was no talking. There was just a video screen that said all the information. I was like,
I guess
the robots are coming to take my job.
Yeah. God, you know
but
what?
It was very peaceful.
I mean, it's nice. I kind of like the voice, though. We have the voices in Sweden, too, on the trains. I saw a Facebook ad. Speaking of robots are coming to take my jobs, I saw a Facebook ad. I just need to mention this a couple days ago. That it was like an ad for like an AI service that you could use for voiceovers. So like, you enter text and you choose a voice, and like you could pay, and it's apparently pretty good.
Yes,
but, like,
it's very good. Endigo. Yeah. And what accent would you like?
Yeah. What accent would you like? No, I listened to some samples and it wasn't very impressive. But the thing is, the ad itself, the top header was like, stop paying voice artists for voiceovers when you can just use this service. And like, don't be a schmo and actually pay someone to do this. And I was sitting there
but they did that when they said, holograms are going to take over our jobs.
Yeah.
And,
sure.
AI stars, and it is a novelty, but then, yeah.
I mean, I'm not worried. It was just it was just a bit rude, Like, why are you paying people to do their jobs? You can just do it for free.
But maybe 15 years ago, there wasn't a massive huge need for voiceovers because YouTube didn't exist.
I mean, yeah, probably true. I guess this is more aimed for instructional videos, like here's how to open your new bank account kind of things. But yeah, maybe. It was just it came off as kind of rude. I'm just waiting for the first game to just cast a freaking AI app as all the voices. There's probably some phone games really low quality that have done that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it's, yeah, God.
Donna, $1 million question. Was it always your dream to do what you're doing, specifically in Japan?
No.
And yet here you are.
It was always my dream to go to LA or New York.
Mm-hmm.
But I never had the self-esteem or didn't have the guts to go for it.
Sure.
So I sort of got into following my dream with lack of, even though I look like a confident person, by the back door of video games. And I'm so grateful.
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel like I used to read a lot of books back in 1996 about how people who just adored Japan and they were just desperate, one day I'm going to go to Japan.
Yeah.
It was really exotic locations still back then.
Sure.
Not many tourists, and everyone's oh my God, it's so expensive. How can you afford it? That I had no expectations. So I had no culture shock. I had been so sick of traveling through the UK that I didn't do any. When I got here, I thought, oh no, not another castle. No, I just want to stay home and watch Friends,
sure.
VHS tapes of Friends,
right?
And just
could you get those tapes here, or did you bring them?
Yeah. No, there was this organisation that you had to be a part of this club, and they paid people in America. They would have 4 VHSs, and they'd tape all these shows like Frasier, Friends, Law and Order, and the best thing was the American ads, and you just watch the whole thing.
Oh, because it's like comfort food,
Yeah, and it was American ads were hilarious and exotic, and because some people living in Texas, come out here to just cack yourself watching
the Crazy Joe's car sale.
So you'd just pack them up in a little Japan Post, and you'd post them you'd keep them for 10 days, and then you'd post them to the next person. So every 10 days you've got these, and you'd play them on your VHS thing.
Yeah. Oh wow. What a different time, but also kind of cozy in a way.
Yeah, it was super cozy. I think that's why Bill and my current husband and I got on well, because when he heard about the tapes, it was like, oh, I was a keeper because of those VHS tapes.
You were his source of Friends, the show.
Cool shows. There's no way. There was no satellite TV. There was nothing. Yeah. You were just, there was no radio. There was, you're in it was like in a different land.
Yeah.
Well, now it's so great. Look, I can talk to my mum on video chat while I'm driving in Tokyo on the way home. So, it's just, there's no when am I going to see you again?
Yeah. No,
and back in 1996, she talked really fast on the phone. Oh, come on.
Yeah. God, I used to. I remember I used to go into these phone booths in Stockholm, Sweden, when I was a really small kid. And I need to, before you had mobile phones, you know. And I had to like call my mom because she was like, "Hey, can you try and send me a message so I know what time you'll be home, so I can prepare dinner or whatever." So you could go into the phone booths, and if you press like 2 square, it would be like the recipient pays for the call if they choose to accept it. So she would get a call, and it would be like, "Hi, this is the phone booth. Are you willing to accept a collect call from?" And then you would say your name. So, do you want to accept a collect call from? "I'm only home in 30 minutes. Goodbye." And she was like, "Okay, click."
You're a candy shopper back then.
Yep. You know that. Make lemonade out of water, pretty much.
So did I answer your question?
Yeah. So yeah, kind of. Like, did you always want to go here? My follow-up question is, well, how did you end up in Japan in the first place, though? Like, you came to teach, but like, why Japan?
Yes, well, I desperately wanted to be a famous singer and actor, but that was never going to happen. So, I do remember people saying in Australia, like, "Oh, Donna," because this is like the early 90s.
Sure.
I knew people from Perth who had gone and worked as singers in Japan, and they could not sing.
Okay, so like low bar back in the day?
That's how exotic a foreign look. And if you looked cool, they didn't care. They were like, far out, that singer is so amazing, like, and to watch. And I would listen to these stories, and they'd say, "You should go, Donna, you should go." Now, growing up in Perth is like growing up in a cult. Why would you ever want to leave? Why would you ever want to leave?
Life is perfect.
It's like, it's so great. You've got the beach. And Perth people are amongst the world. They travel the world. Oh, yeah, when I was in Antarctica last week, and when I was in Peru, and the Colombians are lovely. Right. And they finish, but there's no place like Perth.
Sure.
So it's the most isolated city in the world. It literally is. It's so far from anything.
Wow.
And so I had this, when I was in London on this break, and I was so sick of the 3-month break from teaching, and I thought, I don't want to go back to Perth and go back to my life. I want to try my dreams. And I saw an ad teaching English in Japan. I thought, and I had the qualifications, and I had this thing at back, there's a lot of singing work. And there was. So that's why I came.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Because these days, getting to Japan as an English teacher, it's a very streamlined process. And I feel like there's a lot of foreigners coming here now to do that. And they all do the same, like, they all take the same route. They go through, like, the JET program or something like that, which is very, like, streamlined. But, like, was that a thing back then, too? Or
Yeah.
Oh, it was?
Totally. And in fact, I only taught 4 hours. I taught at a small conversational school. In fact, Nova and all those big places didn't want me because I actually was a professional teacher.
Oh.
And they were like, okay. No, we don't want actual teachers here. Because, you know, you people with the teaching background, you'll be like, "Oh, this isn't correct. And, you know, we should do a teaching plan."
Maybe you'll demand more pay, too.
Yeah, and I'd have an opinion about teaching. And they just wanted foreigners who can speak English to talk for conversation.
Not ALT, right?
Not for, you know, yeah. But
wow.
So I had a lot of spare time, and that's why I had my weekends free. I could book these jobs, teach singing at weddings. And I never looked back, and I knew how lucky I was. Like, wow, this is so fun and awesome. My dream is coming true. And then when the video game thing happened, it happened so slowly.
Sure.
But becoming, you know, doing acting in Silent Hill 2, and it was like so fun.
Yeah. So how long from you coming here and like, I'm gonna be a teacher for I don't know how long, until you realized that like
within 9 months, the teaching school, because of depopulation, the teaching school almost closed, and they said, "I know we've given you a 2-year contract, but can you
could you not?
Yeah, could you leave?" And I was like, and I was just starting to make some money as a singer, and I thought, I will, and then so that was my job, I got to there in April. I was finished by December.
Yeah.
And then my dad had a stroke. My brother went back to Australia for January, my brother's wedding. And then my dad had a stroke.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which I was too poor to go back for that. And everyone's like, it's fine. You know, there's 7 kids. So, you know, we're looking after him. Don't worry. But I remember that was a like pretty low moment of April.
Oh, I can imagine.
And my dad's sick. But then I met my husband. Or no, I'd already met him, but then I started going out with him. And so that was good. And then within 4 months of being real, like the first December to September, I was really broke. And then after that, I was like rolling in money. For the first time in my life.
Yeah.
I knew that there'd be success here. And
I told you.
Poverty I can just get through being poor for a few more months.
Yeah. The dough would start rolling in.
I just never waited for the phone to ring. So I would sort of find out what more, what other jobs, what sideline. I could do narration. I could do this.
Yeah.
I once got offered a job as a prostitute.
Oh, offered a job as?
Yeah, I got offered a job to be a prostitute. See, these are the opportunities that, well, I did turn that opportunity down.
Okay. Sorry, wait.
I'm 32 years old and and it actually was sort of flattering. It's like, so you think I could be a prostitute?
I mean, I get that. You're like, okay, you don't think... Because the Japanese beauty standards are so different to the Westerns, so...
Yeah, and I remember going into Hitachi, which is a company when I first was teaching here, went into the boardroom and there was an old bloke, must have been, 60.
Sure.
And I walked in and he walked in. I was like, hello, next class, the executives are coming. And I stood up and he looked up at me. So tall. What a pity. And I was just like...
The hell? What? Okay.
What a pity. And I'm like, why? Because if I was short, you reckon, you could have had a chance?
Yeah.
It was like, but yeah, the whole hostess thing back then was pretty big.
Yeah.
And then the host, there was another level of like, I was offended, I was flattered, and I was like deeply curious. Like, so how does it actually work? Not that I'm going to do it, but
asking for a friend.
I can't wait to tell people that this. And so I was going I was signing up for this modelling and narration agency, but basically it was the front, I think, because I never ever got a job modelling or narration to find people who would go, and they said. How it worked is you'd just go out for these dinners, and if you wanted to do something more, then you could do it, and like they would pass you an envelope, and then you could just push the envelope back to them. I was just like,
okay, I feel like I've heard of that sort of thing still happening ish.
Yeah.
Oh wow, like a prostitution agency.
Yeah. But it's called escort work. So of course. You get a free meal out of it. So, that's pretty good.
Yeah, escort work, right.
You're actually escorting them. They're having a dinner. But,
yeah. Yeah, I know that there's a lot of these love hotels all around Tokyo.
I've never been to one. I really want to go, but my...
You should try it. There are some fun themed ones all around town.
Yeah, but you just think, how clean are they?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you pay. Probably avoid them right now. But I mean, once the world is back to normal, try it. You can find them have like ball pits and like vines you can swing from and everything. It could be fun.
Like you go to work next day. Why? I've got a rope burn. What from? Nothing.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But a lot of those I know for a fact, like they have that whole escort service like built in as one of the features. So like you can order food, you can order karaoke, you can rent a console, you can get an escort girl or like.
I know. I feel so. Like it's a real. Someone I was speaking to recently has a family, knows someone whose family member did that. Like Japanese, and I just feel like fuck, that really it is really an industry.
Yeah.
And here's something that people don't know in Japan. When you're in Australia, education is free up until the end of high school. And pretty much anyone can go to university. Even if you're really pretty poor, you could, it's like $6,000 a year, but it's deferred until you get a job. So but in Japan, your education is paid up until the end of junior high. And if you want to do the last 3 years of high school, you have to pay $15,000 a year.
Wait, what?
So
I didn't know this.
To graduate high school, your parents have to find $45,000. And we're talking about your normal state school, your shitty state. This is not private education.
Is this correct? Holy smokes, I've never heard of this.
And this means that there are all these young 16-year-old girls who they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And what are they going to do?
Yeah, because they need some money somehow. I mean, I know
a girl who used to work for me. She used to come to the office with these Louis Vuitton handbags, which were worth $4,000. I'm like, how could she afford that? I knew what I was paying her. She had a boyfriend who was older than her. And she ended up getting pregnant to him, leaving, getting married, and then finding out actually he had a wife and 2 kids, and it was all fake.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, the stories I could tell you, Endigo.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, $45,000 to finish high school.
Holy smokes. I mean, I know that, like, to bring your little baby to, like, daycare, it's, like, also, like, $1,000 a month or something at place in Tokyo. So, like, it's not expensive to be a kid or have a kid in this town. So, yeah. Yeah.
It just made me... there's a singer that I adore who's here, and I knew her when she had her first couple of kids, and her and me, none of us knew that like her kids would end up costing her hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Just to finish high school.
That is crazy. Nuts. Like, that's a yearly salary at a bad job, and like put 100% of that into that. But like a lot of I feel like a lot of people, when they get kids, like if they have no higher aspirations, they kind of start living just for their kids and like invest everything they got into them. So for some people, I guess it's fine, but like
no, but where does like I reckon people shouldn't pay for their kids to go to college, because I reckon if you really want to go to college, you can make that happen. But like to not be able to finish high school because your parents literally cannot come up with $45,000. My whole university education costs about $10,000. So that and I was able to find that money and pay it off. My parents never paid for my education, but to think that $45,000 just to finish high school.
Because like that's more than you pay for a lot of universities, I feel. So at least in Sweden, I mean, Sweden universities is free, but still, that's a lot of money. Wow.
So it does mean there's a certain class of people in Japan, and that it ensures that they have young workers. Yeah,
probably, and like getting
a
job.
Sex workers.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's this whole thing, like you can start talking for years about the whole AV industry and like adult video, everything. Like that is such a massive market here with like thousands and thousands of young girls and boys, I guess, like doing these movies. Aww. Probably, I mean, some of them are probably really passionate about them. I doubt 100% of them are, but... Have you
seen when you go to Shibuya and they've got those scouts like stopping all women to get them to be part of that?
I've seen scouts doing something.
That's what they're doing.
I've never been stopped by them personally, so I don't know what they're trying to.
Maybe that's just not a trend at the moment in the AV industry. Tall, gorgeous.
Yeah, well,
Swedes.
Yeah, well, maybe you go to the right parts of town, maybe. But in general, I don't know how much scouting is going on these days.
It's pretty shocking. Yeah, it's not happening now because of COVID, but it's pretty confronting when you're just like, la la la, you're in Shibuya shopping, and then someone said, and there's just pounding women.
Yeah, no, I mean I've seen it happen. Yeah, like I've definitely been stopped before, me and Maya and friends of ours, for different reasons, like. in a way you usually don't get in Sweden. Like, oh, hey, sorry, would you mind? Like, obviously, there's in Kabukicho all these people trying to get you into their clubs, like in a way that they really, in a kind of aggressive way. That
yeah,
really
in a way that you don't think it's Japan.
Yeah. And also, like, I don't know how often you go to Harajuku, specifically Takeshita Street, main street of Harajuku, but when you go down the street, like about halfway through it from the top, there's
Takeshita. No, I hate that. It's just so like,
yeah.
Gives me Yeah.
No. I see what you mean. It's probably one of my favorite parts of Tokyo. Sorry. But just for the fashion and that part. But But the crowds suck. But like halfway through the street, when it kind of turns a corner, there's just always this bunch of foreigners who are bouncers, who are like trying to and they're super aggressive. They would go up to they go up to like only Japanese people, depending on the bouncer, or just foreigners, and they're like, hey, dude, hey, how's it going? Yeah, trying to high five you. Yeah, what are you looking for? Hey, you want to come to my club? You want to come to my shop? And
that's
they get really.
Roppongi's a bit like that.
Yeah. Oh, times. Dude, I never go to Roppongi, but I can imagine.
I used to live there.
Cool. Is it as bad as I think it might be?
Bill would be going to teach when he was teaching at university, and there would be these Asian. I won't say what nationality they are. They would be these Asian prostitutes. Sir, you want massage? You want massage? And he with his like, no, again. I'm going to work. You'd be like...
You asked me yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that. Oh, Lord. There's this... So I went to Shimbashi a couple months ago, a part of town I never, ever go to. I went there because I just wanted to explore a new station, kind of. I do that. I just travel somewhere new and have a look around. I found a mall in Shimbashi that I just stumbled into because I was looking for a video game store. And I found a mall that was like really shady, and it was several floors. It really reminded me of Nakano Broadway, close to where I live. I love Nakano Broadway.
Yeah, that's not that shady. Is it?
No. It's just nerdy and kind of run down, but it's really it's safe, obviously, and it's really pretty nice. But this place, it reminded me of Nakano Broadway, the first floor layout and everything, tiny niche stores. Then I went up a floor, and it was like even more niche stuff. Then I went up another floor, and the third floor in this fucking Shimbashi mall, it was like, imagine Nakano Broadway looking exactly like it does, but every single shop is a like other Asian country massage place, and every single one would have one or two girls standing outside trying to draw you in. No other customers, no other people walking around. It was just me in basically Nakano Broadway, except everything are massages, and like they'd be like, hey, customer, come here, do you want a massage? Like, all these girls were, it was so weird. Like, it was so surreal. And they were all like, oh, a single customer. Let's all, like rabid dogs, like, come here, get the massage. And, like, some of them would run up to me, like, pull my arm, like, hey, do you want a massage? Please.
Wow.
We probably haven't had a customer in a week.
I took this girl that was staying with Bill and I, a woman.
Yeah.
To my local massage place in Nakano Shimbashi. Big Thumb, it's called.
Okay, Oh, I know it. I've seen it.
She got sexually assaulted.
What?
I'm face down with all of my clothes on.
Sure.
And I go there regularly. I still go there.
Yeah.
And this little fucker, she's 36 years old, a European professor of linguistics.
Okay, wow.
Right? So she's no
high
dummy.
Class. Sure.
But you know what she thought? I don't know Donna that well, and maybe this is a special massage that they only do in Japan.
Oh, no. Oh,
and
no.
Donna's having her nipples flicked, and Donna is having a finger up her vagina.
Oh.
And so she's like, I don't know Donna that well.
Where are you taking me, Donna?
I could hear her. Okay, no. A couple of times.
Sure.
And I got up, I was like, and
what the hell?
Even said, is everything okay? Yeah.
So anyway, wait, so how far did they go? Like, how bad was it?
Well, it was just she thinks he was taking photos. He'd stop it sometimes, but it was she signaled when she got in there. She signaled that she didn't understand that it was all clothes on, just shiatsu,
Right.
because in a lot of European countries, they're a very dirty race. The Europeans, very sexual.
Oh yeah. Tell me about it.
No, but
Yeah.
she just signaled she was going to take her clothes off.
Yeah.
And so he was just like, opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And so that he just got the complete wrong message. And this is a good lesson for all your viewers at home.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give a shit about anything. If you're not comfortable, just say, no.
Yeah. I mean, you're the customer, so, you're paying for the service.
She was too fucking nice. That's my problem too, often.
Sure. I get it.
But
I get
too
that.
nice. Didn't want to upset me. Didn't want to upset anyone. Didn't, maybe I'm being culturally insensitive to the Japanese by saying, no, but I can't. But it was just like, Jesus.
Oh, wow.
How many other people is he for? So then what they did is that they made all these manuals and I got them to come to my studio and I was really haughty and I'm like, going to, now that you go there, they've got this different languages saying, no skin contact, no clothes on it, so.
Oh, but they didn't have that back then?
No.
Wow. Oh, this is like mildly shocking. I mean, I go to Nakanoshimashi all the time. It's me and Maya hang out there.
You know who? Chris.
Yeah, Chris Wells.
Okay, this is probably going into too much detail, but anyway, he happened to be coming by, and I was like, Chris, can you explain I had to get the manager, who I loved, because I love getting a massage.
Sure.
So I had to explain to him, that little fucker just sexually assaulted, but my Japanese don't have the Japanese. Chris is coming along, so poor Chris has to explain.
Oh, no.
Because
he's like, hi, Donna, how are you doing? Okay.
After we're in the little place having a cup of tea, and I said, so how was it? And she's like,
I've had better.
And then I was like, why? What did they? She's like, and I'm like, what do you mean? And then she starts doing this, and I'm like, let's go home. Explain it to me at home. Like she's pointing. I'm like, she's embarrassing me in my favorite thing. So I said, let's go home. And then we get home. We ride the bikes home, and then. So I said, tell me, just give me a demonstration. So she lies on the floor of the lounge room, and she's like, I'm like, holy fuck! Get on the bike! Get on the bike! We go back there now!
Jesus.
I was just like, you fucking kidding me?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't.
And that's when we happened to see Chris.
Sure.
Shit.
God. Well, good thing he was coming by. This is so weird. I can't imagine. I mean, I'm sure these things do happen.
But like, see, this is a respectable
I've seen
place.
This. Yeah, I've walked by this place 100 times.
They wear the white things, and it's not a sex bar. No. And I really feel sorry for these people who are working at massage. They're professional masseuses.
Yeah.
Masseur. And they everyone thinks, but so anyway.
I mean, I guess you could get that service if you wanted at most places, probably, maybe. I don't know.
No, not at the Big Thumb place. It's all very...
But it still happened. Was it a new hire, maybe?
He was a young guy, and I never liked him. He was bit of a mouth breather.
Okay, fair enough.
I got a bad vibe off him.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
So something very interesting happening down there. Did you see that video? Did you see that picture of the mouse? On Twitter?
Oh yeah, I saw it. That was disgusting, Donna.
I have smelt that fucking mouse for more than 2 weeks, and I have moved. Where the hell is it? It was flattened.
Yeah, no, I saw it. I saw it.
Up and it got stuck.
I saw it. God, and I saw the replies. Everybody was like, "What the fuck?" There was some Japanese guy who was like, "Is that actually a real mouse?" Like. It just
so I have to get something. Honestly, I'm like, I feel like I should get a Scouts Honor medal for all the gross things that I have to throw out.
You should. Oh my god.
So my cats brought that in, played with it, half killed it. It ran away, and they're like, "Oh, this is fun. We'll come back." And then it ran up there to die.
Oh Jesus. And you've sent it for like 2 weeks, so it's like half rotten at this point.
Where is it? Moving stuff. Tip the thing. No, it's not there. It must be under the floorboards. Yeah, it must be under the floorboards.
Oh my god! So I've had cats in my old home in Sweden for like most of my life. Fortunately, they've been like mostly indoor cats, so I've never had this happen. But I remember Maya telling me like they had frogs in her little aquarium when she was a child, and like one of them would somehow like jump out of the aquarium and they had to like go catch it, and then one day it was gone, and it was apparently gone for a while. Eventually they would find it like totally flattened behind the bookshelf against the wall, and they were like, "Oh, I found the frog." So I don't think it smelled as bad as the mouse, but man, what a horror! What a horror!
What a horror to actually know what dead mouse smells like.
What dead mouse smells like, the famous DJ by the same name.
That should be a dead mouse smells like.
Dead mice smell. Dead mouse smell no tails. Anyway, is this a good point to start wrapping up? I feel like
I think how can you top a dead mouse story?
I feel like we came a long way from Japan origin stories to dead mice that smell nice.
Now that it's out in the forest, it smells great.
Yeah. So anyway, that was an episode of whatever show this is gonna be. It was fun. It's a good talk. I mean, we do these talks anyway. Might as well just post them online because it's 2021 and that's what you do these days.
Yeah, and let's hope. Let's anyone who's listening, glad that you had a good listen, and see you next time.
Yes. Also, feel free to send in your questions, comments, thoughts. For the next episode. We might do like reader mail, so send all your questions to where should we set up like a Gmail? I would like to
solve some problems. So has anyone got any emotional like family issues which I'm not licensed to help with, but I can be very opinionated about?
Do we have a Twitter, Donna?
By the time this goes up, it'll be at Making It in Japan.
Yes.
.com.au. No. Yeah. Making It in Japan.
Yes. So, feel free to tweet us. If you have any questions, follow us on there. Or send them in an email to makingitinjapan@gmail.com. I'll be setting that up.
Also, if you have any guests that you know who live in Japan that you want on the show.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to, Donna's channel that we're currently on.
Yeah.
Subscribe to my channel too if you want, youtube.com/Endigo. It's a pretty fun time. And be sure to subscribe to the podcast too on whatever app you're on, iTunes or whatever. And see you next time. Goodbye.
It's a goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Bye.